Hello and welcome to the latest Royal Roundup from talkTV. So pop the kettle on. This is The Royalty. I'm Sarah Hewson. Coming up, find out why Prince Harry could be banned from the United States. The latest royal popularity ratings are in. Find out who's on top. And we've got updates on the coronation plans in our weekly Coronation check-in. Joining me to discuss all of that are royal commentator Emily Andrews, the Sun's royal photographer Arthur Edwards, and the royal editor at the Evening Standard Robert Jobson, who's celebrating his birthday with us today. Happy birthday, Rob!
Happy birthday!
Thank you for the cards.
39 years young, right?
Now, earlier this week, the Prince of Wales met British troops and thanked them for defending our freedoms during a surprise visit to Poland, just miles from the Ukrainian border. Arthur, am I right in thinking, is this his first overseas trip as Prince of Wales?
I think it is, yeah. I think, and it was suddenly thrust upon us earlier this week, you know, and it was all top secret, of course. And he did a brilliant job. I mean, the papers are full of it today. It's
on a really busy news day
absolutely.
as well.
Well, you know, Boris was busy, but we found plenty of room for William in our paper today. And you know, I mean, he's all for the troops. He's Colonel-in-Chief of regiments, and he just went out there supported them and right by the Ukrainian border. And of course, it had to be kept secret because of his travel, but. You know, today he's meeting the Polish president, and he met some children and Ukrainian families that have moved there. And today he's meeting kids that got started school there, Ukrainian kids, you know, getting their education there. So he's really positive, and 2 days, but you know, he's achieved an awful lot.
Rob, we often talk about Prince Harry being very good when he's meeting children, but actually William, on the first day of his visit, meeting young children who are living in an accommodation centre, and had a real rapport.
Yeah, I mean,
with them.
You can tell he's a good dad, isn't he? He interacts with his kids, and therefore it's easier for him to do that. But he's been doing these sort of visits ever since he was a child himself. You know, when his mum used to take him to all sorts of things with him. And you know, if you watch him interact with the kids, he's very similar to Diana. He goes down on his haunches. He sort of gets eye level with them, and he's just quite funny as well. So they seem quite. You know, happy to speak to him, and you know, you get all those classic little lines from the kids that, you know, get everyone laughing.
It was also a big week for the Princess of Wales as she launched her business task force as part of her early years initiative. Emily, what's the thinking behind this latest phase?
Well, obviously it's her sort of 10-year project, the legacy project she wants to do as Princess of Wales, which is early childhood, 0 to 5, big part of her Shaping Us campaign, which she launched earlier this year. This is the business part of it. She went to NatWest in the City of London to speak to business leaders. And I think that the point of it was to probably get some money for the Royal Foundation, but obviously also to tell employers that how they give flexibility to their staff and how they treat their staff obviously impacts parents, and then that potentially impacts the children that they're raising. That's the idea. I think Kate has a bit of an issue because as Princess of Wales, she doesn't want to be political. And try as she might, childcare, provision, nursery places, how we raise our children, stay-at-home mums, not stay-at-home mums, is political. You know, we saw in the budget last week with Jeremy Hunt about the things that he was trying to do to help parents return to work, childcare. Kate obviously doesn't want to be political. And so even when it was written up in the Times wrote, I think what the Princess of Wales was trying to say was. And so for me, the message gets a bit muddled because what was she trying to achieve? Because in her speech,
she talked about needing to think radically about it.
Say what, how? How does she want us to think radically? I mean, what does that look like?
You're right. I think there needs to be a bit more oomph in the campaign. And if you're going to... Princess Diana wasn't afraid of politics. She took on, you know, did a major difference with AIDS. She took on, you know, leprosy. She took on landmines. These are all issues that were political. I think, I mean, yeah, you can go through the tulips a little bit too much.
I think she can play it a bit too safe. And actually, I'd like to see her... It's a great campaign. Really important issues. Yeah. I'd like her to be a little bit less safe.
It all comes down to money in the end. You know, who's going to pay for this?
And who's going to pay for it? That's where you get into
that's
politics.
When it gets political. And this is unfortunately for the Princess of Wales, is that, you know, to put it bluntly, they're loaded and they can have whatever nannies, whatever support they can get, which they do have. But there will be people, single mums, you know, just simply, you know, doing 3 or 4 jobs. They can't afford this, and so, you know, and then we all, you know, most of us care about our kids, but the bottom line is money.
Say one good thing about her this week. That picture she did with the kids in the tree was fantastic. I thought that
this was the picture that they released to mark Mother's Day.
I'd have loved to have taken that picture. It was a fantastic picture. Everyone was so happy. You can imagine William behind the camera sort of making them all laugh. It was just...
It was taken in Norfolk, wasn't it? And no, it was taken by a photographer.
But imagine, because when I remember the chap who photographed George and the Queen and Prince Charles, when he was Prince Charles and William, for a stamp. And Kate was behind the camera sort of making... George laugh, and I imagine, you know, William was doing that because everybody was so happy in that.
There was also that lovely picture of her holding Louis and Louis roaring with laughter.
I can't tell you, that cheered me right up, that picture. That
warmed your heart.
Well, because it was a great photograph, you know, and she shares them with us, and I think that's just brilliant.
But at least they are using a professional photographer.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes some of those other ones...
Well, some of the ones she takes...
What, you mean the ones that she takes?
I
think the ones she takes are very good.
Yeah, I know, you're very good at saying that.
Arthur the diplomat.
Good, but they're not as good.
She takes great...
Not as good as his, obviously.
No, I'll tell you what. She does some good snaps. That picture of William with the 3 kids on the swing, I'd love to take.
I don't want to see you guys out of work, you know.
Meanwhile, King Charles and the Queen Consort are set to set off on Sunday on their first overseas tour since Charles became monarch. But the trip to France and Germany is threatening to be overshadowed by strikes and protests in France. Robert, it's a really important visit, this. It is the first outgoing state visit as monarch for Charles. They've chosen Europe, chosen France and Germany, but there's an awful lot going on when they arrive in France.
Well, there is. I mean, they've chosen France and Germany because of, you know, post-Brexit relations, and it's an important soft power diplomacy mission for the king. And I think that he'll play a very important role in, you know, behind-the-scenes talks that the government will benefit from. But, yeah, it's slightly ironic, all all the problems going on in France are to do with, you know, pensions. And then when you got a king and queen coming over, you know, 75 nearly and 76, and, you know, and Arthur in his 82.
Arthur, you're going on the trip.
And so your combined age of 200, when they start complaining about...
I'm one of 50 media going on this trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a good trip.
The last trip Robert and I went on with the king, I think it was 10 of us. On the plane, it'd be 50 journalists again. So
that tells us a lot, actually, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because there's massive interest in this, and it's, as Robert said, it's all part of the Entente Cordiale. The meeting with Macron is so important, and then we fly to Berlin, where he gets involved there. You know, I think it's all part of a government plan. You know, to sort of soft power, as Robert says. You know, to have better relations with our nearest neighbour, and of course the most powerful country in the European Union.
But it does seem to have, I don't know about you, I think that the king, you know, seems to have settled into his role very well, and he's oozing confidence, whereas previously as Prince of Wales there was always a sense with, you know, his speeches that he's got something to prove. He doesn't seem to have anything to prove now. No. And as a result, you know, with a Prime Minister like Rishi Sunak, who does seem to have developed a good rapport with, he is more flexible on certain issues, and he's there to help Great Britain PLC going forward. And I think there's been...
I mean, there were questions, though, weren't there, Arse? And we've discussed it on the programme at the time as to whether it was right that he should have had Ursula von der Leyen to Windsor Castle on the day that the Windsor framework was announced.
The day before, I had the President of Poland. Why shouldn't he have the President of the European Union there? I mean, it's just a normal thing, in my view. Any president comes to head of a nation that goes to see the Queen, to see the King, sorry, ma'am. Goes to see the King, and it's a normal thing. I think there's a bit of fuss about nothing. I mean, look, it's essential that we get good relationship with Europe. I mean, it's not been great in the past with Boris and some of those people that were involved then, and the anger and the bitterness that was said about it all. It's got to stop, and we've got to be friends with these people. And I think this King's trip to France was planned a long while ago. I think Rishi and he probably got together early in the year, decided this was the move, and
the red carpet will be rolled out.
I think it is, and I think there'll be a bit of a strike, there'll be a bit of a fuss, but you know, the French police will cope with that. I don't think there'll be too much hassle.
Now, the Prince and Princess of Wales are leading the royal family when it comes to popularity among Britons. That's according to a new survey. The family's popularity as a whole has bounced back since Spare was published in January. We saw, didn't we, Emily, a boost, a sympathy boost, September last year, December with Netflix, January with Spare. They all saw their popularity plummet, and now we're starting to see it climbing back up again, the dust settling.
Yes.
I suppose.
Absolutely. I think, well, inevitably, when Harry and Meghan go very public with TV series or Harry's book, then inevitably, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in the royal family. A lot of polls are then run. And it's interesting that Kate and William are riding high again. I mean, to be honest, I'm not surprised. I actually don't think that their popularity dipped that much. They have just been very much to the old adage of the late Queen. Keep calm, carry on, keep your head down, keep working. Don't complain, don't explain, just get on with it. And I think that in public, that has worked very, very well. Look, we know behind the scenes that things are still very bad with William and Harry, but perhaps understandably, some people may say perhaps unfairly, others may think. But I think, you know, Kate and William are doing a good job as Prince and Princess of Wales.
Of course, we've got the coronation coming up, so we'll see how that impacts popularity. But for Prince Harry, his admission of drug taking could threaten his US visa. That's according to an American lawyer who's warned there is no exception for royalty. What do you make of this, Rob?
This out very early on when he did the book Spare. You know, only because I think Arthur and I've been filling out visas to go to America. On it, it's pretty damn clear about, you know, have you taken class X drugs, all these things. And basically, if you haven't got a prayer of getting a visa. No, and
so either he's lied or he's been given special treatment.
But he's lied. If he's lied, then on the form, that would be a really serious problem for him. Now, we know he's the husband of an American citizen, and that's fine. But, you know, he's gone public with saying he's taken all this stuff, and he could say, well, I haven't done it since, but he
said actually he's done it in America as well.
Well, yeah, so
at Courtney Cox's house.
And
taking
also
magic mushrooms,
smoking cannabis while he was at Tyler Perry's house.
It's not great. I mean, you know, there's not been an awful lot of thought gone into this, but the fact is, if that form has been signed and it's lied to, he's lied on it. He has got a problem.
Rob,
I think the fact a lawyer said it, it's all you've got to know. Lawyers. It's when someone in the State Department says you've got to worry. I think Harry's going to be safe there. I
know he probably
will. It's not going to be a problem.
Do you think he'll be on a diplomatic passport? I mean, I wondered whether.
I would have.
What kind of is he on a spousal visa? Is he on
probably spousal visa? But he'll have had a special deal done. I'm sure. You know, he's a prince of the realm here. He was somebody important here, and he would be treated like that. And I think if a lawyer, as I say, if a lawyer said it. That's a lawyer talking, and there's plenty of them in America. But if someone from the State Department says it, then you've got to worry.
Yeah, and at the moment, there's no public comment, and immigration officials saying, well, this is entirely confidential, so we're not going to discuss it.
We've had all the discussions with Prince Andrew, haven't we? You know, about the law counts everybody else. It's the same, they're all in the same playing field, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I don't think so. I think he's all right there. I think that book that's come out about him is letting everybody know
but it's by him.
No, the other one is spare us.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay,
we're going to talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
A new spoof book. As the coronation draws nearer every week, we will update you with all of the latest news and announcements coming from the palace. This is Coronation Check-In. All three of the Prince and Princess of Wales's children are expected to take part in the King's coronation procession from Westminster Abbey, according to a leaked report. Rob, what do we know about the roles they might play? In
all honesty, Sarah, we don't know an awful lot because when we say leaked reports, we don't exactly. No one's confirmed any of this. So
no.
I'm a little bit suspect because I've had everything from they're going to take a major role in it to they'll be actually not doing very much at all.
I mean, does that suggest that actually they don't know yet? They're still deliberating as to how much they should put them front and centre of this? It's a big moment for the children.
Big moment. I'm sure they'll have a role because they're very popular and it'll add to that whole lovely warm picture that they're trying to present.
I think they need to know to get Louis in shape for that, because he dominated the Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah, but this is not for your photograph.
I know, but I promise you, he dominated that.
But he does this.
Almost took it away from the Queen, so better get him
running
trained
down
up for
the
it.
aisle.
Yeah, so
That was the famous one, wasn't it? When he
Oh
went
my
like that to his bum.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant.
I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved every bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll probably keep him in the boot.
Well, at the moment, the reports suggest they'll be in the carriage procession coming back to Buckingham Palace. But I mean, Charles was 4 when he attended his mother's
That's right,
coronation,
did.
wasn't he?
There, yeah, and they took him home early because it went on for a long while.
Yeah.
I hope they do include the children. I mean, I think Camilla's grandchildren are going to be involved in it, so why not? And maybe there's.
Maybe
I hope they're rehearsing.
Bet and Archie get involved.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about next, because there's speculation as to what roles the senior royals will play, what we can expect for Prince William, but also some of the youngsters as well. What about the Sussexes? What about Harry and Meghan? And what about their children? Suggestion that there might be demands coming from Montecito before they accept the invitation. Is there anything in that?
I would be a little bit wary about believing any kind of demands of Harry and Meghan before they come for the coronation. Look, we know that Harry said that he wants to talk to his father and his brother and iron things out before he comes to the coronation. That's from Harry's lips. I very much doubt that he would be saying, I want the royal family social media page to put out a happy birthday to Archie, who is 4 on May the 6th, as my condition for coming. Having said that, as Arthur and Jobbo have just said, Archie is 4, same age as Prince Charles. Does Meghan and Harry want Archie to come? Does everyone else want Archie to come? Lilibet, I think, is too young. Princess Anne didn't go. But I suspect, probably, with the family dynamics, that if George, Charlotte and Louis all have a role, they might want Archie to as well. But 4 is young. I mean, it's young to have to sit through an hour or 2 hours of a frankly boring ceremony.
And what about after the coronation? They head back to Buckingham Palace, the family all gathers.
They all gather
And
around with the crown, and the king blows out Archie's birthday.
Candles, and
You've got it all
it's all
planned
about
out.
you, Archie. It's all
They'll
about
sing
you.
happy birthday on the balcony to Archie. Yeah.
The balcony,
so,
the
yeah.
balcony.
It's the
Yeah.
whole Michael Jackson thing where they hold him over the...
No way. That's not going to happen. No.
They might
So-
be
Let's not go
on
there.
the balcony.
The
Maybe
balcony.
in the photo.
Well, inside.
Imagine the
Inside.
king.
I can see a photo inside, not on the balcony.
The big family photo inside, but on the balcony, are we going to have this limited to working royals again?
Yeah, I think the king said that, didn't he? I think that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Has to be that. It has to be seen the core. It may even be less than working royals. It may even just be the core family of
I think like the last picture we saw of the Queen, just the
core family.
The king and queen in the Waleses.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's going to be.
We should point out that there's been no official confirmation that Harry and Meghan are coming. We're assuming, well, I'm assuming that Harry definitely will come. I hope that Meghan does come. But we don't know.
Good for everybody.
I think
The clock's ticking though, isn't it? What are we, 6 weeks?
Yeah, the king wants it.
Now?
He wants his son.
Well, you
there.
want-
I mean,
you want him to
and
buy
also he should be in the official photograph. He's the son of the king. I mean, whether as Emily says, whether Meghan comes, I don't think many people are bothered about that. But she's on the invitation. And I know her; she'd love to be there. I mean, Netflix would love that to see her there.
But as a father, you'd want both your sons supporting you.
Of course.
Very much so, on the most
and
important
also,
day of your life.
I know the king wants that schism finished. He wants it ended. It's got to
Well, it's not going to end, is it, unless they come together.
Exactly,
in the
unless
same
they meet
country
like that.
and have a conversation, have a couple of drinks, and sort it out.
and not be worried about any conversation appearing in a documentary in
Well,
America.
I'm gonna
That's
guarantee that.
Or
No,
the
you can't.
paperback version of Harry's book, which is due out.
yeah.
well.
Anyway, as you can see, lots of questions still remaining unanswered. When we know, you will know. That was the coronation check-in. Prince Harry's best-selling memoir, Spare, has once again become the butt of the joke, as an upcoming parody book titled Spare Us is set to make fun of it. Now, this version of Spare has been written by Bruno Vincent, who previously gained the spotlight with his Enid Blyton parody books. Spare Us, a Harrody, will be released on, wait for it, April Fool's Day. Arthur, are you looking forward to it?
Well, I was better than the book that Harry wrote because I didn't enjoy that. Seeing the way he rubbished some of the people that work hard for this country. Thought that was outrageous. So I'm looking, I think America are waking up to Harry and Meghan. I think they're saying that they're not the golden couple everybody thought they were. And I think this is probably the start of it. It'd be interesting what the sales are for it. I hope it outsells your book, Harry, anyway.
Probably won't. I mean, it's sold pretty a lot of copies.
Yeah, I know, but you know, we've got to hope, Robert. I mean, fingers crossed.
Wow.
Look, I just look. Harry's book was I think, very damaging, and this, if it just takes the mickey out of it, I think that's fine. I think it would just devalue it a bit.
Is Mickey taking a bad thing though? Because
No,
we're still talking about them, Emily, and they are still relevant and they are still making waves.
Exactly, and there was all this kind of kerfuffle over the South Park thing, that Meghan was upset and she was so devastated and it was awful. We don't actually know that. And actually, as you say, you know, being the butt of the late night show, being on those, you know, big American talk shows.
Big prime time shows.
Big prime time shows, which gives his book more publicity and more people watch the Netflix thing, more clicks on and downloads. This book, you know, the Harry sob story. I think it just, it gives them more publicity. It perhaps encourages more people to buy their products. However, it does reinforce that narrative that all they are is victims and that all they do is just not cry wolf necessarily. Some people might say they cry wolf, but they just complain, they just whinge, they just talk about being royal, which they only were for 5 minutes, and they've got nothing more to offer as a kind of brand.
That is all we've got time for this week. My thanks to Emily, Arthur and Robert. If you want to join in the debate, make sure you leave a comment. We will be back next week with all the latest on the royal family. We hope you can join us. We'll see you then.